So, good evening. My name is Jude Ferrer, and here presents my final output for this subject, the paper about overall acceptance of communicational AI. So, for introduction, artificial intelligence or AI for communication is a fast developing technology that may be used to improve communication between humans and machines. So it has the ability to fundamentally alter how we engage with technology and provide solutions to a wide range of communication related issues. So in the context of communicational AI, the ability of ChatGPT to generate a human-like text with little or no fine-tuning presents a significant opportunity for businesses to automate their customer service operations. So one of the most widely recognized communicational AI platforms is ChatGPT, a large language model developed by OpenAI. However, other communicational AI platforms have also emerged in the market, such as Apple's Siri, Amazon's Alexa, Google Assistant, and Microsoft's Cortana. So several studies have explored the impact of communicational AI platforms on various aspects of society, including communication, productivity, and personalization. So the objectives of the study is to gain a deeper understanding of the usage patterns and attitudes towards the overall acceptance of communicational AI here in the Philippines. So in order to do this, it's necessary to look at how frequently, for what goals, and how people in general see communicational AI. So this study also intends to investigate the variables that affects people's willingness to embrace and use communicational AI as a tool for productivity and communication. So for the significance of the study aims to investigate the adoption and perception of communicational AI as an overall tool for productivity and communication here in the Philippines. So the study is significant because it contributes to the understanding of how communicational AI is being used and perceived here in the Philippines, a country where the adoption of AI is still in its early stages. So the next one is about the conceptual framework of the study. So it aimed to apply the UTA UT2 to explore the factors that affect the behavioral intentions of Filipino users towards the overall acceptance of communicational AI platforms. Specifically, the UTA UT2 model proposes that users' behavioral intentions towards using a technology platform are influenced by key factors. So according to this author, so in accordance due to several issues presented by related studies, other factors were deemed necessary for the observation of holistic measurement. So this is the conceptual framework. Here's a brief description of each variable. So we can see that there are 10 rather hypotheses. So we have the habit, price value, hedonic motivation, performance expectancy, effort expectancy, facilitating conditions, uh, perceived ubiquity, perceived benefit, perceived risk under the behavioral intentions, and for the last hypothesis, the acceptance or overall acceptance of communicational AI. So the hypotheses are the H1, the behavioral intention of Filipino users to utilize communicational AI would be positively influenced by their current habit of utilizing technology for communication. So for the second one, Filipino users' behavioral intention to utilize communicational AI would be positively influenced by how cost-effective they consider it to be. So H3, the behavioral intention to utilize communicational AI among Filipino users would be positively influenced by the perceived happiness and pleasure obtained from utilizing it. So for H4, the behavioral intention of Filipino users to utilize communicational AI would be positively influenced by how useful they feel it to be. H5, the behavioral intention to utilize communicational AI among Filipino consumers would be positively impacted by perceptions of its usability. Then H6, Filipino users' behavioral intentions to utilize communicational AI would be positively influenced by the availability of the technological resources and the infrastructure required for its usage. Then H7, the behavioral intention to utilize communicational AI among Filipino users would be positively influenced by the idea that is widely available and accessible. For the last two, the behavioral intention to use communicational AI among Filipino users would be positively influenced by the idea that it offers worthwhile benefits, including ease, efficiency, and improved communications. The behavioral intention for H9 to utilize communicational AI among Filipino users may be adversely affected by the idea that it poses possible hazards such as privacy and security issues. So for the next part, we have the methodology. So the first one, the demographics. For a quick background, to explore the factors that affects the behavioral intention of Filipino users towards the overall acceptance of communicational AI platforms based on the conceptual framework provided. So a survey with a total sample size of N to 50 Filipino participants will be conducted. Then also survey questionnaire will be designed based on the use of UTA, UT2, and the questionnaire will consist of main sections, demographic, then questions related to the respondents' attitude towards AI technology and their past experiences with AI platforms and the likes. So for the survey results, regarding educational attainment, we have 46% of the respondents had completed college, followed by those who had completed the senior high school with a 37%, in graduate studies 15%, and only 1% of respondents had completed elementary school. So when asked about MHI or monthly household income, we have 57% respondents reported earning less than 10,000 PHP per month, while 22% reported earning more than 30,000 PHP per month. So regarding the consideration of communicational AI, 79% of respondents reported always considering. We have 8% only sometimes considered. Then 6% for occasionally considered it, and those who never considered it, we have 3%. Then the breakdown table will be shown on the next slide for the demographics profile. So here it is. We have the characteristics, the category, the sample size, and the percentage. So we have gender, age, area, educational level, MHI or monthly household income, internet frequency, and consideration of communicational AI. So for the questionnaire, to investigate the overall acceptance of communicational AI, this study utilized a survey questionnaire with two portions. The first part collected information about the demographics. Then, second part is evaluated the respondents' perception of communicational AI using a Likert scale with 5 points ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree. So here are the breakdown of our questionnaire reflecting the 9 hypotheses: the habit, price value, hedonic motivation, performance expectancy, uh, effort expectancy, facilitating conditions, perceived equity, perceived benefit, perceived risk. Yeah. Then we have the methodological framework. We have the data collection, data pre-processing, data normalization, decision tree, parameter optimization for 60% accuracy. Then model creation, model validation, and interpretation. So for the data collection, data for this study was collected using questionnaire survey. So the questionnaire consisted of 31 items covering 9 latent variables. Then for data pre-processing, the collected data underwent pre-processing to ensure its quality and suitability for the analysis. So categorical variables such as gender, area, educational level were transformed into a numerical or binary representations. For data normalization, to ensure comparability and prevent the influence of scale differences among variables, we use this technique such as min-max scaling or z-score normalization were applied to numerical variables. So for the important part, we have the decision tree. So decision tree algorithms such as the C4.5 algorithm was used for model creation and analysis. So it involves pre-processing in the loading of the CSV, then using sklearn model selection, train test split, the train's test ratio parameters were loaded on step 2. Then step 3 involves setting the tree depth to a random state of 0. Then we have the two main points, the Gini and entropy criteria, were then applied to step 4. Then, yep, with P denoting the likelihood that the identified factor belongs to a given class, ranging from J to T. So for the Gini, the calculations probability is based on the squared probabilitics of each class, such as P2 for the first class, P2 for the second class, and so on. For the computation, a weight is given to each split tree branch, and the probability of each class is squared and added for each branch. For the entropy, weight is employed in the computation for each tree branch split. Log P base 2 is multiplied by each class's probability. Then each split entropy index is determined by adding together all of the weights. Then lastly, the decision tree will be printed using graph-based software on Anaconda. So parameter optimization, to optimize the decision tree's model performance, parameters such as maximum depth, maximum samples for splitting, and minimum samples per leaf were optimized using techniques. The goal was to achieve a model accuracy of over 60%. So for model creation, the decision tree model was created using the optimized parameters and pre-processed datasets. So the model learned patterns and the relationship in the data to predict the acceptance of communicational AI based on the selected variables. So for model validation, the created model was evaluated and validated using appropriate techniques such as cross-validation or a separate validation dataset field. And the model's performance metrics, including accuracy, precision, recall, and FI score, were assessed to ensure its reliability and generalizability. So for the interpretation, the final decision tree model structure and results were interpreted to understand the significant predictors and the relative importance and preceding acceptance of communicational AI. So here we have the results. So the adoption of overall communicational AI study using machine learning algorithms has transformed the way individuals communicate and interact in various domains. So this chapter presents the results of the decision tree analysis based on a diverse population dataset from the sample size of N250 and discusses its implication in light of existing literature and the 9 hypotheses proposed. So for the decision tree analysis, we have a result of Gini of 0.88 and entropy of 0.8667 classifiers both receive good accuracy ratings from our decision tree analysis. demonstrating their effectiveness in foretelling communicational AI adoption behavior. So these are the results from the printed output on Anaconda. So on the top we have the Gini and on the bottom we have the entropy. So for the Gini, the results table shows the performance of two decision tree classifiers, one using the Gini criterion and the other using entropy criterion in predicting the target variable of the dataset. So the Gini classifier achieved an accuracy score of 0.88, meaning it correctly predicted 88% of the test set observation. The entropy classifier achieved a slightly lower accuracy score of 0.8667, as seen on the next slide. So the weighted average row of the table calculates a weighted average of the accuracy scores based on the distribution of the target variable in the test set. So this is a common approach to reporting accuracy in datasets with imbalances classes. For the next slide, we have the criterion and accuracy score with the weighted average of 0.0232889. So in the summary, the decision tree classifiers performed reasonably well, with the Gini classifier performing slightly better than the entropy classifier. However, the low weighted average accuracy score suggests that further evaluation and improvement may be necessary to achieve better performance on these type of datasets. So evaluation of accuracy. So in order to evaluate the decision tree models, the Gini and entropy criteria, this study used conventional measures to gauge the model's performance. So for the hypothesis results, so for H1, habit and behavioral intention, consumers' habitual usage of technology for communication and their behavioral intention to embrace communicational AI are positively correlated. So for H2, the findings are consistent with earlier studies that highlighted the important part that perceived cost effectiveness plays in influencing consumers' behavioral intentions towards adapting technology. So for H3, according to previous research on social media usage, consumers perceive enjoyment increases the inclination to embrace technology. So users are happy and enjoying using communicational AI are more likely to keep using it. So for H4 and H5, the findings support previous research that has shown the impact of perceived utility and simplicity of the use in affecting users' propensity to embrace technology. For H6 and H7, according to the findings which are consistent with prior research on cloud computing and mobile payment services, the availability and accessibility of communicational AI play a critical role in driving consumers' desire to embrace technology. So users who believe communicational AI is easily accessible and more inclined to consider it for their requirements. For H8, uh, the findings are consistent with previous research on mobile services uptake, so emphasizing the role of perceived benefits in changing consumers' intention to embrace technology. So for H9, users who believe communicational AI has potential risk, particularly in terms of privacy and security, may be unwilling to use the technology. So for overall acceptance of communicational AI and machine learning algorithms, the decision tree analysis and hypothesis testing give useful insights into the general adoption of this AI and MLA in the Philippines setting. So the user's attitudes towards communicational AI are influenced by factors such as habit, perceived cost effectiveness, enjoyment, usefulness, usability, availability, accessibility, and perceived benefits. So the decision tree analysis and the testing uh, provides insights into elements influencing Filipino consumer behavioral intentions to embrace communicational AI. So for the theoretical and practical implications, the study findings have various theoretical implications that help to comprehend user acceptability of communicational AI and machine learning techniques. So to begin, the high accuracy scores obtained show the importance of user-centric elements in molding users' behavioral intention to use this AI. Furthermore, the findings of the study are consistent with those who discovered a positive link between habit and behavioral intention in the context of technology usage. To overcome possible hurdles to adoption and assure the effective deployment and usage of this AI, policymakers and technology developers must emphasize data safety and foster user confidence. So for the limitations, for starters, the dataset employed in the study was limited to a sample from the Philippines, limiting the results' generability to other population and cultural settings. Future studies should incorporate varied samples from different geographies, backgrounds to validate findings across various user groups. And the second, while decision tree models accurately anticipate users' behavioral intention, they have difficulties in capturing complicated interaction between factors. So despite this limitation, this study adds to the body of knowledge on technology acceptability and user behavior. Future research might expand on these findings and enhance our knowledge of communicational adoption by recognizing and resolving these limitations. So lastly, for the conclusion, finally, our research will look at Filipino users' overall acceptance of communicational AI and machine learning techniques. So the decision tree analysis revealed the strong influence of user-centric aspects on users' behavioral intention to use this AI. Privacy and security issues have surfaced as possible hurdles to adoption, and our findings contribute to the theoretical understanding of technological adoption and have practical implications for policymakers, businesses, and technology developers. So in conclusion, this research contributes to our understanding of user acceptability of communicational AI machine learning algorithms. Future research can enhance our understanding of consumer adoption of communicational AI and contribute to the effective application of this technology on these fields by resolving the stated constraints and building on these results. Thank you.